Imagine waking up to find out you owe thousands of dollars in credit card debt, all because of a fraudster thousands of miles away. Quite an unnerving thought, isn't it? Yet for many, this is not just a nightmare, but a startling reality. Credit fraud is a global epidemic that's on the rise. Each year, millions of unsuspecting individuals become victims, their hard-earned money siphoned off by faceless perpetrators hiding behind the veil of technology. These are not just isolated incidents, but part of a larger, more sinister picture. In the United States alone, millions are affected annually, with losses amounting to billions of dollars. Across the pond in the United Kingdom, credit fraud is a similarly menacing spectre. Here, thousands fall prey to these financial predators every year. And it's not just the financial loss that stings, the emotional toll, the stress, the anxiety, the feeling of violation. These are scars that often run deeper and last longer than the dent in your bank account. But why is credit fraud so rampant? One reason is the digitization of financial transactions. Sure, it's brought convenience, speed, and global accessibility. But it's also opened up new avenues for fraudsters to exploit, making protection of our credit a paramount concern. The risk is real, and it's here. No one is immune. Whether you're a college student with your first credit card, a small business owner, or a retiree enjoying the fruits of your labor, your credit is a target. So how do we safeguard ourselves? How do we ensure that we don't become just another statistic, this global epidemic of credit fraud? The solution lies in a proactive approach, in educating ourselves about the risks and taking the necessary precautions. Now that we've recognized the risk, let's explore how to shield ourselves from these financial predators. Remember, knowledge is power, and in this case, it could very well be the shield that protects your credit, your money, and your peace of mind. If you found this information helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Your support is much appreciated. In the financial world, tales of credit fraud are all too common. Take the case of Elizabeth, a retiree living in a small town. One morning, she received a call from her bank, alerting her about unusual activity on her credit card. The bank had detected a series of high-value purchases in a city thousands of miles away from her home, all within a span of 2 hours. Elizabeth hadn't made these purchases, and she hadn't been to that city in over a decade. Her credit card details had been stolen and used fraudulently. Had the bank's security systems not flagged these transactions, Elizabeth could have faced financial ruin. Then there's the story of Richard, a young professional. He discovered his credit score had plummeted when he was denied a loan for his dream car. On investigating, he found out that his identity had been stolen and several loans and credit cards had been taken out in his name. Richard spent several months and a considerable amount of money to rectify the situation, all because his personal information had been compromised. Both Elizabeth and Richard were victims of credit fraud, a crime that could have been prevented with the right precautions. Elizabeth's case could have been averted with the use of secure payment methods and by being cautious when sharing her card details. Richard's ordeal could have been avoided by regularly checking his credit report for any discrepancies and by being vigilant about sharing his personal information. In both cases, the fraudsters took advantage of the victim's lack of credit protection measures. They succeeded because they had access to credit information that should have been secure. These tales are not isolated incidents. They are part of a larger narrative that affects millions of people worldwide. These stories underline the importance of taking action to protect your credit. But what can you do? The answer lies in a credit freeze. A credit freeze, a powerful tool often overlooked, can be your fortress against credit fraud. You might be wondering, what exactly is a credit freeze? Simply put, a credit freeze restricts access to your credit report. This makes it harder for thieves to open new accounts in your name, a common consequence of credit fraud. A credit freeze works much like a lock on your front door. It keeps unwanted guests out. When you freeze your credit, you're telling the 3 major credit bureaus, Experian, Equifax and TransUnion, to stop sharing your credit report information with potential lenders. Without access to this information, most lenders won't approve new credit applications. This means even if a fraudster has your personal details, they're unable to open new accounts under your name. It's a powerful deterrent indeed. Now let's talk about how you can freeze your credit. It's simpler than you might think. Firstly, you'll need to contact each of the 3 major credit bureaus individually. You can do this online, over the phone, or by mail. Next, you'll need to provide some personal information. This could include your name, address, date of birth, and social security number. Once you've done this, the credit bureau will typically provide you with a unique PIN or password. Keep this safe, as you'll need it if you want to lift the freeze in the future. Remember, a credit freeze doesn't affect your credit score or prevent you from getting your free annual credit report. It also doesn't prevent you from applying for new credit, renting an apartment, or buying insurance. But you'll need to lift the freeze temporarily to allow these companies to access your report. With a credit freeze in place, you've taken a significant step towards safeguarding your financial future. But what about optimizing your credit? Now that you've secured your credit, it's time to make it work for you. Credit optimization is about more than just securing your information from fraudsters. It's about improving your financial health and making your money work harder for you. So, let's dive into the do's and don'ts of credit optimization. First, let's start with the do's. Do regularly check your credit report. This is your financial report card, and it's important to know where you stand. Any inaccuracies can be contested and removed, improving your score. Do pay your bills on time. This might seem like a given, but even one late payment can negatively affect your credit score. Do keep your credit utilization low. This is the ratio of your credit card balance to your credit limit. A lower ratio shows that you're not overly reliant on credit, which is a good sign to lenders. Now onto the don'ts. Don't apply for too much new credit at once. Each application results in a hard inquiry on your credit report, which can lower your score. Don't close old credit accounts even if you're not using them. These accounts contribute to your credit history length, which is a factor in your credit score. And finally, don't ignore your credit. It's easy to forget about it when things are going well, but regular check-ins are crucial for maintaining good credit health. Credit optimization isn't a one-time event. It's an ongoing process. It's about making smart financial decisions every day and understanding how those decisions impact your credit. With these tips in mind, not only are you shielded from credit fraud, but you're also on your way to financial stability. Remember, your credit score is more than just a number. It's a reflection of your financial health. And by optimizing your credit, you're taking control of your financial future. In this complex landscape of credit, knowledge truly is your most potent weapon. We've traversed the perils of credit fraud, witnessed its real-world implications, and discovered the power of a credit freeze. We've also highlighted key practices for credit optimization. By arming yourself with this information, you're not just protecting your credit, but enhancing it. By freezing your credit and following these optimization tips, you're taking control of your financial future. Remember to like, subscribe, and share this video if you found it useful. Your support is much appreciated.